March in the Mystery Journal is all about calming vibes, aquatic colours, and the cutest little koi fish. I'm putting together these March spreads with plenty of help from the Calm Koi Pond stationery bundle from Hubman and Chubgirl, who are also the kind sponsors of this video. Koi are symbolic of luck, prosperity, and perseverance, so I hope that by including them in this monthly setup, I'm sending some of those good vibes to the winner of this journal. Hi, it's Erin, and I'm pretending to be planning by a pond today. Just in case you haven't come across our sponsors today, Hubman and Chubgirl, before, they are a Canadian-based small stationery business with a mission to help absolutely anyone express themselves and stay organized through creative journaling. While they started as a home-based husband and wife duo, today Hubman and Chubgirl have grown into a small team, but every single piece of artwork featured across all their products is still lovingly hand-drawn by Chubgirl herself. Every month, Hubman and Chubgirl release a new themed stationery collection available as a subscription plan across 5 variations, so you can choose the subscription that best suits how you like to journal. And subscribers also receive extra perks, like 10% off the entire store. The boxes and bundles completely take the guesswork out of putting together a monthly theme, because everything you get in the collection already looks fantastic with everything else, which makes it perfect if you're new to journaling or having trouble putting together spreads that you love the look of. You can also shop their previous collections in their sets and bundles section, or purchase individual items from the boxes or bundles in case you fall in love with just the sticker sheets or just the washi tapes, or you want to mix and match to create your own dream journal collection. And since Chubgirl designed it all in her distinctive style, it's actually really easy to make items from different collections look great together too. If you're keen to dive in, yes, that was a koi pond joke, you can use my promo code Erin to get 15% off your first order. That's not an affiliate code, it's just a little offer that Hubman and Chubgirl have kindly extended to viewers of my channel. For March in the Mystery Journal, I'm putting the Calm Koi Pond bundle through its paces, so before we get to work, let's take a look at what's included. They're very generous boxes. I actually think I could get 2 months out of one of these pretty easily. To start with, we have 3 sheets of vinyl stickers, nice medium-sized ones. And I love the range of designs on these too. I love the lily pads, I love the bulrushes, and I love the fish, of course. Then we have 5 sheets of these tiny vinyl stickers. They're the perfect complement to the bigger ones, and I have a really creative idea in mind for how I want to use these for this theme. Something that comes in really handy if you're needing some help with your journal setups is a planner kit like this. This one has the perfect mix of both decorative and functional stickers. I find they work really beautifully for vertical weeklies, and they would also work really well in a pre-printed planner. I love that you get enough of these day of the week stickers to cover a whole month. You know I love an enamel pin, and this one is gorgeous, perfect for a pencil case. We've got 2 rolls of washi tape here. One is a thinner one, one's a little bit thicker. Both of them look like they have the cute little koi fish just suspended in some water, which is a very cute effect. And the larger of the 2 also has a glitter effect, so it's a little bit thicker than your typical washi tape on the page. We've got 5 lovely big die-cut vinyl stickers, and because these are vinyl, they're really durable, so if you didn't want to use them in your journal, you could whack these on a water bottle and be good to go. Want to decorate an e-reader or your laptop? They'd be perfect for that too. This is the Calm Koi Pond sticker pack, so there are 7 different sticker sheets in here. We've got these rectangular washi stickers, so these ones are really nice and lightweight. These postage stamp card stickers, which have the most gorgeous gold foiling. As do these koi stickers, look at that shine. These ones are a little on the thicker side though, so they're a bit more rigid, which makes them a little tougher to use in a journal, but absolutely not going to stop me. We've got these 2 large pond stickers. These ones are washi stickers. These koi and lily pad stickers. This one would be great to travel with because it's a bit smaller. And this solid panel of washi sticker that looks like water, which I love. This is so versatile. We've also got these clear stickers that I think work really well as dividers, but can also just function purely decoratively. Now that you've seen what's included in the bundle, let's start putting it all together. I've gone through all of the pens that I own and picked out the ones that I think will work best with the colors in this theme. I've got these 4 regular brush tip markers and a couple of paint markers with a brush tip as well, plus some paint markers that have a bullet nib so that I can use them for ruling my lines instead of a black pen. We're going to jump straight into a purely decorative cover spread, and I'm taking inspiration for my lettering here from this font I found called Glass Water, which is just kind of perfect for the theme. I feel it looks a little bit aquatic, but at the same time it feels very groovy baby yeah, so I think it'll be fun. I'm placing that right in the middle of the spread, ever so slightly higher than the center, and then we're going to use all the wonderful stickers and washi tapes to decorate the space around it. If you're wondering what this whole mystery journal thing is about, this journal is actually one that I set up for a giveaway. I did 6 months in the journal way back in November and December of last year. I set up the whole journal for January through to June of 2025, and then I gave it away to a subscriber. This is the third time I've done one of these mystery journals, and I have the best time doing them. This giveaway obviously has closed, but there'll be another one coming in May for the second half of 2025, so watch this space if you're keen to enter. It won't be open for a couple of months yet though. I really wanted this lettering to stand out from the page, and I was a little worried the silver would blend in a bit too much once there are all of these stickers around to give it some competition, so I'm using some of the bullet nib paint markers to add kind of a drop shadow effect, but both in the top right and in the bottom left in different colors, so it will really jump out from the background. Now it's time for stickers, and when I know I'm going to want to add a lot of stickers to a page, I prefer to start with some of the larger stickers first and then work my way down to the smaller ones. It's much easier to place a smaller sticker around the big ones than it is to try and fit bigger stickers into small spaces between tiny stickers. I am trying to make sure that the stickers that curve around are kind of moving around the lettering in a way that feels like it's making sense, but besides that, I really didn't go into this with much of a plan, besides lots of stickers all around. I do quite often change my mind when it comes to sticker placement, and the vinyl stickers are really easy to peel back up, so I definitely like that malleability that they have. So I was really easily able to peel up that reed sticker so I could place some washi tape down in the place I originally had it. The vinyl stickers really maintain their stickiness too through that process, so even if you do place it somewhere and peel it back up, you'll be able to use it again somewhere else later. Something I'm trying to keep in mind while placing my stickers is color distribution. So clearly I have quite a bit of blue already going on this spread, and the koi fish have some variations between grey and orange. Some of them don't have any orange, some of them have a lot, some of them have a mix of both. So I'm trying to make sure that those colors are distributed somewhat equally across the spread. I sometimes find it hard to use larger stickers in functional spreads, so since a cover spread's only purpose is to introduce the month and look pretty, I'm giving myself the chance to really let those bigger stickers shine here because they may not get a chance later on. Speaking of functional spreads, here is the first one we're going to set up together for this video. This is going to be the calendar spread for March. I felt like the Calm Koi Pond bundle was really vibrant and colourful, and I really didn't want to use any black for the functional elements of this setup. I really wanted to lean into that colour, so I'm trying to use my paint markers for all of my line work. And I loved the effect. Sometimes it was difficult to get a really even line with them. I didn't mind that too much, but at the same time, it did cause some problems with my ruler. I would get paint on the ruler and it would be very easy to smudge. So something to look out for. Make sure you're cleaning off your ruler pretty often if you're using it with paint markers. I'm also using that same silver brush marker that I used for the header on the cover spread to add some stamps for the initial for each day of the week along the top of the calendar. And I've made my calendar boxes nice and big. They're each 5 dot grid spaces tall by 5 dot grid spaces wide because I knew I wanted to use these number stickers to add the numbers to the calendar. This can be a little bit of a tedious process because they're pretty small stickers. I definitely recommend using sticker tweezers to peel them up and place them so that you can make sure that you're orienting them in the right direction. And I find that the sticker tweezers really speed up the process as well. I never feel as clumsy as I do when I'm trying to place a tiny sticker without tweezers. Since March starts on a Saturday and ends on a Monday, the shape of the calendar naturally has these gaps kind of along the top row and along the bottom row. I thought it would be fun to fill those with some washi tape, just kind of hug the shape of the calendar. And since I've positioned more of the days of the week on the left side of the page than the right, it was the perfect amount of room to add this strip of water washi and use it as kind of an anchor to add some of my other stickers on top. I'm echoing the shape of that panel with some of the rectangular stickers down the opposite side. And to really make the layout feel unified and harmonious, I'm trying to make sure I line up the edges of those rectangular stickers with the edges of the calendar or the washi tape that I've already placed down. Now we can fill in the gaps with some stickers and move on to the next spread. I'm trying something a bit different here with the 1 line a day and the habit trackers all going on the same spread. So the center of the page is where the 1 line a day sections will go, and the 2 outside edges of the page are where I'll place the habit trackers. I'm adding a really pale blue highlight for every second space where the 1 line a day section could be entered. It's pretty tricky to see on camera, but I promise it's quite visible in real life. And the habit trackers this time are tiny calendars. I'll have 3 on the left page and 3 on the right page, and they are going to require quite a bit of tiny number writing, so I'm going to speed that up for you quite a bit. Even though I won't actually be drawing boxes around these tiny calendars, I like to add boxes in pencil first so I don't accidentally add my numbers outside of these lines, because that is a mistake that I have made in the past. Unfortunately, I'm missing a little bit of the process for you here. I decided to jump back in and do the opposite lines to the blue ones for the 1 line a day section in green. And I'm also using my number stamps and the silver paint marker to add the numbers onto those spaces too, so it's really clear where the writing for each day is supposed to go. I personally like using a 1 line a day section in my journal for a daily gratitude practice, just finding something to be grateful for every day, but some people prefer to use it in more of a memory keeping way or a completely different way. Maybe it can be the song that you were singing all day that was in your head or something like that. And likewise for the habits, I obviously haven't assigned habits to these because this journal is not for me, so I wanted it to be as flexible as possible for the person who was actually going to use it. But I am using some of the stickers from the planner kit to add a space for the name for each habit. I made sure to leave enough space for these when I was planning this spread out because I knew I wanted to use them this way. Definitely not enough blue going on this spread for my liking though. Currently it doesn't feel like it fits with the previous pages, and the quickest way to get that blue payoff is to add some of the washi tape. So this is the thinner of the 2. And of course we have to sprinkle some stickers around as well. This next one, we're going to have 2 separate functions for the 2 separate pages across this spread, starting with the left side, and its function is goals at the top and favorites underneath. Of course, there are some sections for goal setting back at the very beginning of this journal in the new journal setup pages, but I wanted to make sure there were spaces within each month for the winner of this journal to break down their goals into smaller little chunks throughout the year and hopefully make them more achievable. It also helps you to recalibrate if you decide that some of your goals are no longer for you. The favorite section is one that I really enjoy looking back on when it's been a few years since I used the journal. It gives you a really interesting little snapshot into who you were at the time. And I think different people would use a favorite section in different ways. So for me, it's probably going to be favorite books or favorite TV shows of the time, favorite music. Some people might prefer to include favorite cafes or favorite restaurants, favorite foods, favorite recipes. Favorite quotes, favorite anything could go here, absolutely anything. Favorite colors, favorite hobbies, favorite podcasts, which leads me to a question actually. What's your favorite right now? Of anything. What's your favorite anything? I wanted to make sure there was plenty of room for long form text here, just in case that's how the winner of the journal wanted to use it, so I'm adding pretty minimal decorations for this one, and then we're moving on to the right side, which is the mood tracker, and I am so proud of how this page is going to come together. This is where my creative idea for the tiny sticker sheets is going to come into play. But first, I wanted to have 31 little lily pads on the page so that each of them could represent one of the days of March. Of course, I penciled them all out first because I wanted to make sure that they'd all fit and look nice kind of around each other, and I'm colouring them in with a green marker and just making sure they all point in different directions or have a tiny second lily pad sort of attached to them but still count as one day. They're really easy to draw. I've taken my inspiration from the stickers included in this set. They're really just circles with a little slice taken out. It's kind of like a Pac-Man shape. Now that I've got all these lily pads on the page, I'm going to add the number that corresponds to each one, partly to make sure I have enough and partly so it's clear to the winner of the journal which one represents which day. I'm also trying to keep them really nice and close to the lily pads and even kind of sandwich them into the little Pac-Man mouths so that the numbers kind of disappear into the page. The decoration kind of is the function on this one, so I'm not going to add too much as far as extra decoration. I'm really just going to leave it to the lily pads, but this is where the magic happens. So the tiny stickers are going to be what indicates the mood for these ones. So say on the first they were feeling really happy and they've assigned the happy face to the koi that is just orange, then they would put a little orange koi fish on the lily pad that represents the first. Isn't that cute? I'm so happy with it. I deliberately haven't used the tiny stickers anywhere else in the setup because I didn't want to take away from the potential of them using them on this spread as a mood tracker, so you won't see them anywhere but here. I have made sure to stash those with the journal when I sent it on its way. And yes, I realize the fish being on the lily pad would probably not be a good thing in real life, but these are just stylistic, so it's fine. Let's just pretend that they'll be okay. I've also added an outline with my paint marker around each of the lily pads to just make it pop a little bit more. Onward to the next spread. This is another kind of single-purpose, single-page situation, but I wanted them to look cohesive and good next to each other, so I'm setting them up in tandem rather than doing one and then the other. The left page is a spending log, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a place to log your spending, and if you're someone who isn't really aware of where your money goes, keeping track of it on something like this can be really helpful when it comes to mindful saving and just general spending awareness. This layout used to be an absolute staple in my own bullet journal, but I have moved it since into its own cash flow journal, so I don't include them in my setups anymore, but I do still have them, just not in my main journal. In the mystery journal, it is absolutely something I'm still including. And on the other page is a space for reflection. In my mind, it would be a reflection on the events of the month and how you're feeling about the things that happened and the things that you did and the way you reacted to things, but it could really be used in a multitude of ways as well. So I never want to tell someone how to use the journal, I just set it up. And you might notice that the dimensions of the reflection box on the right page are the same as the dimensions of the spending tracker on the left. That was intentional because this way the page will look kind of like mirrored, almost like it's symmetrical, although it isn't quite. And when things line up like that, your brain goes, that feels comfortable to look at. And that is definitely what I'm trying to achieve. I didn't want to go too hectic on the decoration here, so I thought I would opt for the washi tape in this kind of train track situation where I'm laying the thinner one right next to the thicker one. But that wasn't quite enough on its own either, so I'm striking a bit of a balance with these washi stickers too. I'm also adding a second line highlight on the reflection box, and I've opted for green here because I feel like I've already got a decent amount of blue down on the page. We're going to add this to the spending log as well, but I'm going to use the blue for that one since we've already got the green happening in the top row and the bottom row there for the titles for those columns and for the total down the bottom too. Our next spread is existing purely for baked-in flexibility. Because this journal is not for me, I don't want to assume that I can think of everything that someone might need in a journal, so I always like to add a pre-decorated but mostly blank spread, so the journal recipient can use this however they like for anything that I didn't think of or anything I may have missed. Of course, I don't want to go too hard on decoration here and take up space that they might need for planning, so I tend to keep things to the outside edges or a top left and bottom right corner or something like that. And if there isn't anything else that the winner of this journal actually needs this spread for, I've included all the extra stuff that I didn't use setting this up from the Calm Koi Pond bundle, so they can just have a great time junk journaling here with that stuff, or they can use it as a memory spread, or they could add a quote page here if they wanted to. The possibilities are truly endless. It's time now to move on to the first of the weekly spreads. For me, these are where the functional stickers from the planner kit really shine, so I have definitely designed my weeklies to work around those. Most of those functional stickers are around about 4 centimeters wide, which means if I make my weekly spaces 8 dot grid spaces wide, then they'll work perfectly together. I'm dividing the spread into 6 columns, so 3 columns per page, and I'm going to put Saturday and Sunday in the same column. I've also allowed 5 dot grid spaces above and below the weekly planning space, so I've still got room for decoration. The way I like my weeklies to operate is that they will always run from Monday through to Sunday. So since the 1st and 2nd of March actually fall on a Saturday and Sunday, they're in the last weekly of February back here. So I'm going to start my first weekly from the 3rd of March instead of the 1st. I find the Pigma Micron pens work really well on the planner stickers, and the day of the week planner kit stickers have a little space built in where you can add the number for each of those days, which is just the perfect foresight. Once again, I feel like these stickers go down a little bit easier with sticker tweezers rather than just peeling with your fingers, but if you don't have sticker tweezers, your fingers will work just fine. I've missed the stickering decoration of this spread, but I went pretty minimal on it, just some washi tape and a couple of loose stickers around. Let's move on to the next weekly, and I am once again making my weekly boxes 8 dot grid spaces wide so that they will work really well with the width of those planner stickers, but rather than having things all in one section this time, I'm breaking things up so that every day gets its own little box. Since I'll have 8 boxes to the page and not 7, the last one's going to be a space for general notes. The weekdays planner kit stickers don't actually come with a notes version, so I'm just going to repeat the color pattern from the left page and use a different little yellow label to go in my notes section. And the space on the left and right of the spread can be where we add stickers, because you know I've got to add decorative stickers too. I really can't resist a second line highlight, so I'm adding those to my weekly boxes here as well, and I'm going to alternate the blue and the green. That's weekly number 2 all sorted, and 2 examples of vertical weekly layouts. So let's try something completely different and do a horizontal layout for our next one. I'm going to divide each page into 4, and I'm leaving a little bit of extra space at the very top and bottom of both pages for some decoration. But in a horizontal layout like this, I also like to use the space where we designate the day, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the date, the number, as an opportunity for some decoration as well. As far as the space I left at the top and bottom of the spread, I feel like washi tape makes the most sense there. It is already the shape that it needs to be to fill that space, so I'm just going to go with that. It's also giving us some really nice repetition, which is a graphic design technique that's used to make things feel harmonious and unified. And because I've used these 2 washi tapes on almost every page of this setup, that definitely adds to some unity. I've decided I'm going to place the decoration for each individual day in kind of an alternating pattern as well. So they'll be on the left side for the first one, on the right for the second one, and so on. So I'm trying to make sure I distribute my colors amongst those again so that we have something really even feeling across the left and right side, even if it isn't always yellow opposite yellow or blue opposite blue. I am also going to experiment with layering these stickers. I think it'll work really well because there's quite a bit of negative space on some of them. So if I'm layering over an item that's already yellow and green, I'm going to try to add in the blue element there and really give it some contrast. This is the first time I'm using the postage stamp stickers throughout this setup as well, and they are the perfect size to just add a little layer of something on top of something else. Feels appropriate for stamps since that's how you would use them in real life if they were real stamps, is to layer them on top of a paper envelope. I'm also using some of the larger vinyl sticker sheets as well, just to add some extra fishiness, which is not something I'd normally add to my journal, but in this case I'll make an exception. And the days and dates are the last element that's going in because they are the most important information here. I'm trying so hard to match my lettering here to the font that they've used on the other stickers. I don't know if I pulled it off, but maybe it's not too far off. We've got one more weekly to set up for March, and this one is going to be sort of a hybrid of the first 2 weeklies mixed together. So this one's going to have individual vertical boxes for each day. There are going to be 8 of them again, so we'll have a note section, but there won't be any gaps between them this time. They'll just be right up against each other. Functionally, it'll work pretty much the same as the second weekly that we set up, but visually it's going to feel a little bit different. By smushing all of my weekly boxes together, I've got just enough room to sneak in these little ponds, so I'm going to place one in the top left corner and one in the bottom right corner, and use those as the anchors for the rest of my loose decorations. Corner collages like this are one of my favourite ways to add a little bit of decoration, especially if you really like to have some negative space still left over and leave some room for your layout to breathe. Sometimes when I get to the final weekly and I still have a lot of stickers left over, I can get a bit sticker happy and a little bit sticker bomby, but for this one I was really liking how it looked, so we'll just add some washi tape for consistency, and then I think this weekly is all done. And so, March in the Mystery Journal, featuring Hubman and Chubgirl's Calm Koi Pond bundle, is complete. And while this theme is calming with its water textures and its fish themes, I also think it's quite energizing and vibrant. Let me know which page or spread is your favorite. I think the mood tracker might be mine. I can really envision how it might look at the end of the month, and I'm a little sad that I'll never get to see it, but in my mind's eye, it's pretty cute. Thank you so much to Hubman and Chubgirl for sponsoring this video and this month in the Mystery Journal, and for supplying the Calm Koi Pond bundle. You'll find links to Hubman and Chubgirl generally and also to this bundle in the description down below. And don't forget to use my code Erin to get 15% off your first order. I've also used the Paris bundle and the Vintage Stationery bundle in the past, and I also have the Magic Castles box set, and I can guarantee they are all as adorable as this. If you're keen to keep watching and see some more Hubman and Chubgirl goodies in action, here's August in the Mystery Journal last year, which used the Vintage Stationery bundle. Or you can check out March in the Mystery Journal last year for some alternative March inspiration. This one is a mushroom theme and it's so cute.